Well, hello again, and welcome back to the channel. So here we are in our master bedroom, and it wasn't too long ago that we did our master bedroom rebuild, and people loved it. In fact, if you haven't seen that video, look right up here. We'll have a link for you. You should go watch that. But the one thing that we forgot to do, well, we didn't forget it, all right.
It was on the list.
It was on the list and we didn't get to it. What was it, baby?
2 years. Let's just say my clothes kept falling on the ground. The actual rack, not because I have a lot of clothes, but it was just kind of heavy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, kept falling.
She's talking about our master bedroom closet.
The clothes racks.
The walk-in closet. It's been a bit of a disaster since we bought the home. It came with the cheap wire racks and just...
They don't hold much.
Yeah.
They're not very good, but that's okay.
So, what are we going to do? Going to finally get to it?
Yeah, we just need a place for everything. And actually, I don't feel like the closet's that big. I mean, it's probably a fairly good size, but we need it to like work so that we can fit a lot more in there that's in there and better organized so that it looks pretty. Aesthetically, it looks good.
Okay, so what? You gonna hire this out?
Well, you're gonna do it.
Wow, I'm gonna do it.
He always
Okay,
does
well,
it.
you heard it here first.
I just have to ask you and you'll do it.
She gives me good kisses. I get lots of rewards. All right, well, okay, so that's our next project, and we're going to jump into it like right as soon as we turn off this clip. So keep watching. It's happening.
I hope.
All right. Just wanted to give you a sneak peek at our clothes closet in our bedroom. This is the shelf in action here. You can see this is already bent from having something on that shelf. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's bowing in the middle as well. I'm going to take you into our master closet. We've been living out of this for 2 years in this condition. You can see it's very bare. We just hauled everything out of here. I apologize for not showing you the before, but it wasn't pretty. So we're pulling these racks out. Baseboards are coming out, carpets coming out. And we're going to start some build-ins, and we'll take you along for the ride. I hope you enjoy it. And so let's get this started with, I just want to take you into my brain and walk through the plans, give you an idea of what we're thinking and what we would like this to look like. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you the plans. We'll just talk through it, and then we'll get started. As I've talked about in previous videos, I just draw everything out freehand. It's just the way I work. Not that I couldn't use a computer program like SketchUp. I just like to get it down on paper. I can make changes quickly. The one negative of this, and you've seen it in some of my videos, is I've been known to make some mathematical errors in measurements. Even after checking twice. But yeah, we're working on that. So this is my original concept as Jina and I sat down and talked through this. And this is just a quick sketch of the main wall of the closet, or what we call the back wall. The center, as you walk into the closet, we've got a set of drawers here, and then we've got adjustable shelves up above. And then on the left side, we've got hanging rod here, 2 levels. Hanging rod here with shelves above them. And then on the right side, same thing, just a little smaller because of the size of the wall. And we're making it so that as you walk into the master bathroom and look into the door of the closet, this is the focal spot right here with the drawers. And so it's not the center of the wall, but it's what you see as you walk into the master closet. This is why this side's bigger than this side. Okay, there is another reason. This is Gina's side, and we're giving her more space, and I think most of you can understand why. So that's the general idea. We do have in this house 9-foot ceilings, and that is really cool. So it allows us extra storage space up above. So that's the original concept. And then basically what I do is I take that and I break that down into just a rough drawing of how that shelf section is going to come together. So I've got 2 uprights, and for this project, we're going to be using just the pre-made melamine shelving products. The uprights have pre-drilled holes for adjustable shelves, and this will speed up our process. We've got a really short timeline to get this up and going. I promised Gina I'd have this done in a month. I think I don't know if I told you in our dining room cabinet video how long that took, and I'm still not going to admit it because it was a long time. But we're going to get this one done in a month, and bear in mind that's working full-time during the day and working on this on the weekends and at nights. So the way these are designed, I've got a bottom shelf here. This bottom shelf on all the sections in the closet will be the same height, 5.5 inches to the top of the shelf. And that is so that we can run baseboard right up against that, and baseboard will be flush with the top of the shelf. And so this plan just lays out the heights to my rod, heights to the top of this shelf, heights to this rod, height to the top of this shelf. The concept, this is a shortcut method, or the quick method. You watched me do the box cabinets for the dining room, and it took forever. This is just, we screw in the shelves and throw it up against the wall. And that's pretty much how it goes. And then on each of these, on the top shelf at the back, we will nail in a nailer cleat at the back. It will be above eye level, so you won't ever see it, especially once you fold and stack clothes in there. And that's what will hold these up against the wall. And of course, these will all be sandwiched together. Each section will be built separately. We throw up the section, put it in place, plumb it up, and screw it to the wall with 3 screws, and so it's going to be quick. It's going to go up quickly. So that's this is the right section, and this is the left section. They look identical, don't they? Other than the measurements of the width. And this just shows the center section. And basically all this is telling me, well, actually, before I do that, let me show you this. So this whole back wall is designed around a cabinet that we found on Amazon. Now, granted, I'm sure it's not the greatest build quality in the world, but it's perfect for what we need because, number one, it comes in white, which matches our melamine. Number two, it's the exact depth or width, I guess is what you'd really call it in a cabinet. Well, depth. We're going to go with depth. It's the exact depth of the uprights we're buying at Home Depot. And so that all matches. And we've got built-in drawers. Pricing out drawer slides and drawer kits. This whole thing, it's like half the price of buying drawer kits or making them from scratch. And so it's going to be quick and simple to put together. So I've gone through and taken this off of Amazon and I've gone through all the measurements, and I've got exact steps already laid out of how we're going to use this to tie into the closet. So this will be the first thing that goes in, and the closet will be built around it. So on top of this, then we're designing This center section will have a center upright that will go up, 3 adjustable shelves, and then of course this is our top section. Excuse the cough. Now on this whole closet, the way this will work, you'll notice I don't have a top on here. So all these sections are just, they're all built with 2 fixed shelves towards the top, not at the top, but towards the top, and the one on the bottom, which we already talked about. These will be screwed in. These are what will hold the cabinet rigid and square. And then once all of them are put in place, then we will take one long top shelf piece that will span the entire distance and tie them all together, and that's what will hold them together. So that's the idea. So that's the back wall. And then over on the right wall, this is on the end of the closet, we should say. This is the right end. Same thing. You'll notice this one shows my nailing cleat. It's just simple. The only purpose for this is to give me the measurements and give me a visual of how it's all going to come together. Then on the other side we have our left wall. Same thing. This one, as you can see, we've got a little more flexibility. I've got adjustable shelves. This one's permanent, this one's permanent. And all the rest are adjustable. So, that's why they're all adjustable. This is the shoe shelf. This is Gina's shoe shelf. This is a full length, top to bottom shoe shelf. And it's narrower, but we have a little wall on the front wall as you walk in on the left. A little jog in the wall, which gives us room to put in this 11-inch deep shoe shelf. 11 3/4 to be exact, I believe. Well, 11 3/4. And so this will allow Gina room for her shelves. And then this is the end wall cabinet on Gina's side. Again, it looks just like the other one, just that the measurements are different. And so that's the plan. Like I say, we're using pre-made materials. I'm not customizing any cuts other than, actually we're using the actual height of all these uprights, so I don't have to cut any of those. So the only cuts we're making are the shelf widths. And so all the cuts we'll make on this project are just shelves. And so this will allow us to put this together pretty quickly, and I'm excited about this because most of my projects do drag on. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right into it. Project is on its way. So here's our stack of trim. And then here are our uprights, followed by our shelves, followed by the narrower boards for a standalone shoe shelf. It's going to be fun. Come follow along. Basically, this is just a simple spacing jig. And I use this for the bottom shelf in all of my upright shelves. They all had a bottom shelf that was at the same level. Designed to have the top of the shelf meet where the baseboard would be. So the top of the shelf would align here in the front, and then the baseboard would come up right to the top of the shelf. And so by using this jig, I could space exactly my bottom shelf on the upright, like so. I just line it up here, put my shelf here, staple, screw, glue, whatever the case may be, and they're all at exactly the same height from the bottom of the upright. And it's just something that helped me keep consistency. It took me literally 2 minutes to build, and just use scrap wood to do it. Hello, welcome back to this segment. So we're about to film putting together some cabinets. These aren't the actual cabinets that we used in the master bedroom closet. These are actually for the laundry room, but they are floor cabinets that are very similar to what we have in the master pantry or the master bedroom. And so I want to show you that process because when we filmed the master closet, we were in such a time crunch that we just didn't have time to film much video at all. And I feel bad about that. I want to give you guys the content. So I'm going to show you pretty much the same process that we used to build those cabinets as I build out these floor cabinets for the laundry room. The dimensions will be a little bigger, different, because these are deeper cabinets. And the way we affix it to the wall will be a little bit different. Shelf heights may be a little different, but it's the same process of constructing the cabinet. And this is basically my shortcut method. Instead of building box cabinets with dadoed or raveted edges and glue it all together, clamp it up, we are just screwing it together and squaring it up. So I'm going to show that process, and the way that we affixed the cabinets to the wall in the master closet is we just used this 1x Melamine. Yes, I make everything with Melamine. Aside from these are MDF, and basically how I affixed it to the wall is I assembled the cabinet, stood it up against the wall, got it in position, made sure everything was level and plumb, and then the top shelf, which was built in, and we'll show you that process, was usually above eye length. So I would cut one of these to the inside width of the closet, and I would set that up on top of the top shelf, slide it back against the wall, use my brad nailer, and just boom, 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 boom to affix it to my actual shelf, and then use my screw gun to screw it into the studs in the wall. And for a closet, that's all we need to hold it in place. We don't have any of those shear strength requirements. Nobody's climbing on the cabinets. We're hanging some clothes on the rod. Yeah, they can get heavy, but we're not doing anything that's gonna pull these things off the wall or pull them sideways. And so it's a different type of cabinet, and it allows us to use the shortcut process. So I'm going to show you that, and let's get started on it. Oh, wait. Somebody's walking into our film. Come here, Miss Coco. Oh. What's going on? Oh my gosh. Can you see why I married her? Woo. Wow, thank you. How did you know I was hungry? So yeah, I guess you'll have to wait a minute before we start constructing that cabinet because I've got some munchies to work on. Let's get going. I just finished my healthy snacks. They were delicious. I thought I'd come back and make one more point that I failed to touch on. Again, because we were in a hurry in the closet, and it just made more sense. We bought everything pre-sized. So if you've been watching our videos, most of these cabinets I've been building, we've been buying the 4x8 sheets of melamine and cutting them down to size, which is time consuming. There is a cost savings there. So you have to weigh out your time versus your budget. For the closet, for the master bedroom, we bought the pre-made melamine shelf uprights and shelf boards from the hardware store. In our case, I think I went to Home Depot because they had everything I needed. They're pre-drilled with shelf pinholes in the uprights. So that's, again, saves a lot of time, a little bit more money. They're also pre-finished on the front edges. If you were to build one of these and you don't want to do any trim, you just want to have a quick and simple, you could do it that way because the front edges are pre-finished. In our case, we used trim on top of those, so it didn't really matter, but it's a nice bonus. The shelves we're going to be making today, I am having to drill the holes myself. When we built the shoe shelf in the closet, they were narrower. I think they were the 11 3/4 inch board, and they don't make those, at least Home Depot, nobody carried it, that are pre-drilled for shelf pins. So I had to drill shelf pins in those, and to do that, I bought a template off Amazon and drilled with a drill. Here. These squeeze clamps, they have their pros and cons. The pro is that they go on fast. The con is sometimes they just don't clamp the way you'd like them to. So like I said, I bought this jig off of Amazon. I bought 2 or 3 things of this brand, Go and Make. And the build quality is good. I've been impressed. And getting a good clean cut on these holes, I think, is just a matter of being careful, because these all, there's a couple with a little chip, but for the most part they look pretty dang good. And when I did them on the shoe shelf, it wasn't exactly that way. I think I just got in a hurry. Just thought I could whip them out. that's where we're going to put this cabinet together. So I'm going to put the top up here. This is where we really need 2 people. So we're going to get tricky here. Look at that. It's going to stand. Hopefully. That one's sitting right on a crack. Well, we're too far away anyway. Okay, now, if you have 2 people, this will go a lot faster. Okay, just so happens I have the wrong nail in here for the shelves, but we're just going to get it stabilized and then we'll switch out. Okay. So here's the process. This is what I did in the master bedroom. Is I lined my shelves up and I just put in 3 brad nails down each side. That holds everything together. And then we use our special Confirmat screws. I don't know if you've ever heard of those. But they're made especially for particle board. In fact, it's those big fat screws that you probably had in your IKEA furniture, the big black ones. So we need to draw a couple lines. And these don't have to be absolute exact. All we're doing is we're just marking our nail and screw holes so that we're in the center of our shelf. Okay, we got that one tacked in, so let's go ahead and do the top shelf. And the top one is just going flush. Actually, sorry, this isn't the top, this is the bottom. The bottom one is just going flush with our bottom edge, which is the factory edge. So it's just before I do that, we should grab a nail gun. And we'll square this up. When we put the nails in, get it stabilized, brad nails will bend. It just gives us an approximate start, and then we'll square it up before we put the screws in. And I'll show you my super secret method for that. So we're going to do two things. First, we're just going to start with our square and see that it needs to go up a little bit. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm kicking on the wrong end. There we go. Okay. And then the second thing we're going to do is we are going to use our cabinet square blocks. Wow. I know you're not surprised, but I've forgotten what we call these. But these are going to go inside. And what they do is they hold our cabinet square while we put it together. And we've got this corner right where we want it, so I'm going to go ahead and cinch this one up. Again, I got, there are many brands of these. I got these ones off Amazon. Surprise, surprise. I have drawn a line for the bottom of the shelf. So the other thing we can do is we can always use a clamp to help hold that in place. Well, we're pretty much on our line. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any better than that. Okay, so let me show you this. So these are Confirmat screws. They're made specifically for particle board. A big coarse thread. They have a special drill bit that countersinks them flush. With your material. And so that's what we're using on these cabinets. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these holes, and then we'll run some screws in there. Drilling straight or perpendicular or parallel, I guess, to your board you're sinking into is pretty critical, as you can imagine, because it is a big drill bit. We've got a 3/4 inch particle board. And then these babies just sink right in. Remind you of your IKEA furniture? I'll bet you didn't cinch yours down that tight. And just like that, we have that one side secure. The reason we're doing this is none of these are going to be seen. One side's against the wall, and the other side will have baseboard around it. So let's do the other side. Well, the other end. So, my apologies. We've made it this far and I haven't taken any in-progress videos to show the construction. We just have a tight deadline on this. I promised Gina we'd have it done in less than a month. And so, I've not been doing anything to slow down progress, which includes taking video of how I'm putting things together. But this is the basic frame. We all started from scratch. You saw the pile of lumber. Next thing we'll do is I'm going to add a couple more lights in here. And then it's time to put in the floor. We'll put some LVP, similar to what we have in the rest of the house. And then we'll start trimming this out. Baseboard. Add all the shelves. All the shelves are cut, just waiting to go in. So it's progress. In this segment, I just want to talk about the trim that we did in the master bedroom. We have so many projects going, I can never remember which one we're talking about. So in the master bedroom, you will recall that we took the uprights that had pre-drilled holes in them. They had finished edges. We sandwiched two of them together. So we built the structure, each one separately. So I have two sides, put it in place against the wall, and then built the next one, and it butted up against it. So we had two pieces together. So for example, so they would just butt together just like this. And then what I did is I bought a boatload of this 1x MDF from the hardware store. It comes pre-primed. So this is a, they call it a 1x2, technically 1 by 1.5, and it's about almost 3/4 of an inch thick. And it works great for trim if you're painting. Granted, these are being painted white. And so what I do is I take these outside and I lay them out across my sawhorses or whatever else I have to support them on, and I paint them all at once with my sprayer. That's the way I do it. Again, as I mentioned before, I hate painting, and so to install these and then go paint them one by one is worse than death for me. We have done it before. But I prefer to pre-paint them. It can be done either way. I pre-paint them and then I just patch up nail holes. So this is an actual pre-painted piece. It's been laying in the garage for a little bit, so it's a little scarred, but we take the trim and I have my two uprights, and basically this 1x covers these two pieces perfectly. And I just take my brad nailer and nail those in place. Now, what do I do on the adjustable shelves? I use the same trim, only it's just not connected together. It's cut to be the width of the shelf, and it's just attached to just the shelf. And as the shelf adjusts up and down, the trim's going with the shelf. This is an example of the little shoe box I built, and my tolerances are so tight for shoes and to get shelves in that I actually trimmed this off. When this started, this was this size, and then I trimmed the bottom off just to give me more clearance underneath for shoes. But you can see underneath, that's where it is. So that's what we did on the trim in the master closet, and it worked out really well. Again, that was a quick and simple project. We just slapped it together. No special construction methods, no cabinet boxes. It was just take two uprights, screw in two shelves to hold it together, put it in, plumb it up, attach it to the wall with a cleat. And it was really simple. All right, so I'm going to get on to the next segment. Okay, a little notch right here. to run this last piece. Make sure we're all the way down, lined up with this. This is the critical piece. You have to make sure that you're engaged all the way down the side before you drop it down. And once you're lined up, you just pop in that spoon there. And that's it. This floor is done. We can now put some baseboard down. All right, finished project. Actually, I guess I need to put down the threshold, but other than that, this floor is done. Completed, ready for baseboard. And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining, everybody. Here's the final review of the finished master closet. This was a rush job, so I didn't show a lot of how-to or a lot of videos in process because there just wasn't time. But we have adjustable shelves in the center with 6 sets of drawers. And then this is the her side. I have 2 levels of hanging rods with an adjustable shelf on the top. On the end section, we have 2 sections of full-length hanging rods for dresses and long items with adjustable shelves on the top. And this one in the corner here is her shoe shelf. This will probably hold about 1/8 of her shoes, but it's a good start. And then zooming back out for his side, we have 2 hanging rods, one on top of the other. And the same thing on the end here. 2 levels of hanging rods. We also have storage space on the top all the way around. And it's probably about 10, 11 inches of height there. So lots of storage space. It'll be better than what we started with, for sure. And this is how you make the most of a small space. Thanks for tuning in. Well, let's just say that some mistakes were made. Started hanging clothes in this part, and this shelf was too short. I can't quite figure it out because the other side is the same and the clothes fit just fine. So we are cutting these shelves out, and I guess we'll put a adjustable shelf on the other side or up on top. So mistakes happen, live and learn. All right, the demo is done. We got some patches to make, but all in all, it came out pretty good. So we'll patch that stuff up and then get to putting the new stuff in. All right, the final reveal of the closet project. This is it. hi, baby. What are you doing in here?
Welcome to my favorite space in my home.
Really? This is your favorite? Why?
My favorite. Because it's organized and I love being able to find clothes to wear, which is really important.
So what are we talking
like
about? Are we talking about your new closet?
Yes. So I love this. And I just love how organized it is. I do have this really lightweight ladder.
Wow, you picked that up with
that?
like 2 fingers.
And I just keep it right here because I do need to use this to get up to some of the things that are on the top. So I've got space for my shoes. I've got space for my clothes. I've got space for my bags and hats and all my travel items. Everything's organized, ready to go. And then I've got things that I use every day, like jeans and then sweatshirts and running clothes and workout clothes. And then Randy's got his teeny tiny little space over here. I did allow Randy to have a little bit of space.
Oh,
with
lucky
his
me. Wow.
Clothes and his shoes. He has a few spots up there. There's even, I'm pretty sure that basket's still empty. Like there's still space that we could fill. Not that I want to. I kind of like to have it as empty as possible, but everything fits in this space. And it did take some organization to figure that out, where everything went. I just like how the bins are either see-through that I know what's in them, or these ones I just didn't. I wanted to keep these ones against this wall looking all the same in unison. So this is a cabinet. We pre-bought this piece.
Oh.
And of course you designed the whole thing around this. This was a dresser. And so these are drawers.
Well, that was smart. Who thought of that?
Me, because I knew how long it would take to build drawers. So we just bought this all pre-made. And so this houses, you know, underwear. I even have like jewelry, things that I just want to hide behind these drawers. But these are easy, accessible drawers that come in and out. And then these are just
Do we get to see your underwear?
Nope. Not going to show that. Not going to show any of it. I know. That's why they're hidden behind these cupboards right here.
So tell me about, this looks quite fancy. Did you like buy a kit, or how did you come up with this?
Well, I don't know. How'd you come up with it? All I know is what I needed.
No, I mean the interior decorating part.
Oh, these?
Yes, we know about the guy that put the wood together.
Yes, yes. So I did have to do a lot of shopping. I really wanted a linen look. Again, this is kind of in keeping with what we have throughout the home, which I like to keep unison, which is the white and then the rattan and linen. And so I did do a bit of shopping to find these, but I really like the look of them. So these ones are all linen, and then these ones are kind of a rope looking because I needed a bigger container. So one of the things I had to really look for is the size. So these actually, you know, I had to fit 2 across, and then I had to fit it deep. So we'll put on the sizes because these are actually, I mean, this one, yeah, there you go. You can see how big this container is. And so it fills this whole spot.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I think they look great. It really tidies up the space and keeps it so that you're not looking at all your stuff.
So I'm looking up even on this top shelf, and I don't see any cardboard boxes or just piles of stuff. Tell me about that.
No, none of those. So those just, they all have, I know what's inside all of them. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could label. Again, I don't want anything else showing on the outside, but you could do a fun label and stick on here or hang a tag. That would work if you want to have everything labeled. I know what's in there. The other thing I love is this little tiny area that's right here that Randy made work for shoes, which is huge because I needed all of this space, plus underneath all these clothes on the bottom, plus all the way along the top there. And you can see I'm starting to take up other space. So yeah, anyways, it works. It works great.
Imagine
and then
that.
I've got all my travel stuff ready to go on that side.
So
it works.
What's amazing about this is, folks, you see how many shoes Gina's got here.
Hey, they've seen enough.
When we were married, the shoes she had wouldn't have fit in this entire closet.
No, I have very few shoes compared to what I used to have. I do. There's a few that I keep up in boxes up in the top, up there. But anyways, it works. I love this space.
That's so cool. I'm happy that you're finally organized.
I know. I really, really love it.
Well,
thank you.
Thanks for the inspiration. It turned out good.